Alright, we're gonna watch two videos and we'll call it a night. From Levi Nix. The first one is the great male OPT out. Women are realizing men are gone, obviously. And the second one is Jim Carrey was not crazy all along. That one should be very interesting.
63% of men have given up on dating, and honestly, I don't blame them one bit. Women talking about, I deserve to be courted. How you gonna be courted when you're already on the court?
Shots fired!
Make it make sense, brother.
What does one have to do to deserve a date being paid for?
Well, if you go south to mouse, number one. And then number two, if you don't look like a gothic peacock that's been through a chainsaw festival, that's a pretty good start to get a date paid for.
Traditional gender role standard. We should also hold women to a traditional gender role standard. And it is the traditional women who deserve that kind of traditional treatment.
Facts.
Women want 2026 modernity, giga-feminism for them. And you want men to be 1950s trad husbands, like in terms of their conduct and treatment of you. That seems unfair. You want a 1950s-esque man who's going to provide and protect. You should be a 1950s-esque trad wife, trad woman.
Absolutely.
That's a fair proposition.
I agree.
If that's what one is going for and that's what one wants, that's fine. That's
Golly. You know, I've heard of scoliosis, but I think this woman may have scoliosis, bro. What is this look?
not specifically what me personally wants.
I agree that what you want is the guy to pay for the first date. There's no dispute there. My contention is if you deserve it, which
So,
I would say.
Well, that
Whoa.
Oh,
It's going south to mouse. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good transaction there.
paid for, Brian.
So
Yeah, we'll go to Mickey D's, baby girl. I got you. Go to Mickey D's. Oh, I'll take you to Wendy's. Get it 4 for $4. I heard the chili's good on Wednesdays. They make a fresh batch. We can go over there. Okay, what is this? Renting a Japanese husband for a night out. Oh wow.
Gary again to be my date to a wedding, and here he is. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
He's a Chad.
Oh no, you're fine. Oh.
He's a straight up Chad, bro. My beautiful wife tonight. Oh wow. I mean, this is a very dank wedding. Who can afford this stuff? My question is do you have to pay more if he beats cheeks? You know what I mean? How does that work? That's crazy. We should start an escort service here where you can rent a husband, rent a boyfriend. I feel like it'd be good. I feel like it'd be good.
Pick up any guy you want, and I'm like, unfortunately, both unfortunately and fortunately, I am not my type's type.
This happens to a lot of women. This is something they need to understand is if he's good enough for you, he's good enough for a few. Should have been nice. Should have bought a Honda, put it on a t-shirt. All these women are competing for the same men, essentially, right? I call it the 95-5 complex. 95% of women are competing for the top 5% of men. But the thing is, the 95% of women, they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of basic. They really don't have anything unique to offer. This woman probably thinks, because her face card's semi-lethal, that she deserves a 10 out of 10 guy. Not the case.
My type doesn't like me, and that is because my type is guys that don't like me. But that's
Yeah, and then also these women, they like a guy until he reciprocates that energy, and then she's like, oh, he's not my type. He's giving me the ick. He's giving this. It's always something where a guy, if he shows too much interest, it's too much. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you're like a lot of people, you probably rely on coffee, energy drinks, or nicotine pouches to power through your day. The downside is that they often come with the jitters.
How so?
Admit that the only reason that they are asking women out on coffee dates are to check the vibe, to see if she's worth a $200 dinner, to see if there's chemistry.
A $200 dinner. Seriously.
It's insane.
Is that what's expected now? I mean, I can see why a lot of guys would want to remain single if that's the prospect and the apparent cost of dating nowadays. Or are some individuals just being silly on purpose and actually expecting someone to spend that amount without actually getting to know them? Of course coffee dates are there to check and see if there's chemistry, if there's a vibe, because otherwise it would just be a complete waste of everyone's time, not to mention their money.
That's just immature.
yeah.
Well, that's not what I'm seeing that's immature here.
I personally, I'm not going out with men who have that type of mindset where I need to prove a dinner date. Like you can't just invest.
Good Lord, her nose is so big. I know she can smell what the Rock is cooking. But, honey, here's the thing. You're not the prize when you're born with your value. Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch.
You know what I mean? When you're born with your value, you're not the prize. I hate to be the bearer of realistic news here. But it's getting to a point where all the women want the same, top percent of men, and it's so much harder to be a high-value guy than it is a high-value woman. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Being a high-value man takes work, effort, time, energy, and resources. Being a high-value woman, you can just be out the box. You got a nice body, boom, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. It's really that simple. It's not hard. Asking girls why they're single.
Samantha. Delilah.
And are you guys single?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you guys single? I could tell just seeing you guys.
Because I don't want a boyfriend. Men have
That's cap.
You're a liar!
commitment issues.
You don't want a boyfriend? No. Or maybe a boyfriend doesn't want you.
That's what it really is. That's what it really is. Dude, here's the thing. Think about it this way, chat. I was doing some thinking the other day. Think about when a woman is looking to court a guy, or they're courting each other, right? They're looking to date. Women are essentially the employers and men are the employees, right? Men are trying to get the interest of a woman. Women are marketers and men are salesmen. So essentially, women are the ones hiring these guys, and then once the guy's hired, he gets to decide, do I want to stay at this company or do I want to jump ship and go to another company? These women are just showing that they just pick bad men. You're a bad employer. You don't know how to pick the right guys. You're telling me you've been done dirty so many times when you get attention. Think about it this way. One woman could get attention from 20 men, but yet she still picked the wrong one. 20 guys barely get attention from one girl, but yet sometimes they pick right. Think about it. Women just don't know how to pick. They pick the wrong ones. They're bad employers. You wouldn't blame the employees of a company for hiring the wrong employees. You blame the company. These women are just like the companies in that regard.
Sorry, lady, but that sounds more like a coping mechanism than a choice.
Do you think a man should chase a woman?
Oh, 100%.
Golly, I don't know if anything's chasing her. Maybe a treadmill or a diet plan.
100%.
The chase is fun.
Listen,
The chase is fun when you don't do any of the chasing and you only get chased. Come on.
you will not ever slide into a man's DM shooting my shot. That is just not, no, that's not okay. A guy that wants to pursue you, that's what a guy does. And any guy that you pursue is gonna throw you out to the gutter because you're just, he can get you if he wants you.
What's the difference between a guy chasing and pursuing?
See, I don't like chasing. Like, I don't want a guy who's blowing up my phone when I don't want to talk to him. That's not cute. But a guy who's pursuing is gonna actively try to make plans with you. And if a girl likes him, she'll do the same back. So it's not like a girl chasing, but it's a girl matching the energy.
Reciprocating.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got a lot to...
Golly, yeah, she got a lot. This reminds me of girls that I used to buck in college. Just they think they sound smart, but they just really sound dumb.
You're that easy?
Want me to pick up this car? How am I that easy?
You're that easy? Not even
am I that
2
easy?
seconds in, and you already have another girl coming in?
Okay, and?
I think I want to be invisible so I could just hear everything that you say about me when I'm not there.
That'd be so...
It would, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. Honestly.
Yeah.
You said everything you needed to. That's good.
All right, yeah. Kick
Have
rocks.
a good one. Bye-bye.
Kick rocks. Adios.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Oh, there's a bad shorty over there. I'm about to get her. Clip that.
Let's go.
My girl? Nah, she's leaving.
I'm taking my phone.
You got 2 spots right here.
Yeah, don't believe that.
Come here.
It's all for
Come here. I'm dead ass. Hey, what's your name? My name's Red Pill.
What's up?
Nice to meet you. You look good. Wow.
You're replaceable. And the thing is, this doesn't do anything but help his stock rise. It's only going to help him in the long run. It's not going to hurt him. You think that, you think that she's really going to care. If anything, it's going to make her go more insane, want more of his attention. This is the exact cards you got to play in this world. I run dating events in London. Where are the men? I don't know, maybe running away from you.
A dating event in London called Someone's Type. We need more boys. Always need more guys. I don't know what it is. The girls that turn up to our event, stunning, gorgeous.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, she looked like a salamander. Shots fired! I don't know why that came to my head.
Hilarious, intelligent, the most, just...
Yeah, we're the most hilarious, intelligent, good-looking, strong, rich, success. Where are all these guys? Working. Already in a relationship. Avoiding women like y'all with nose rings.
all of them are catches. I think it's because...
Okay. Here's another thing I hate when they're like, all the women are just so smart. They're all catches. They're all just, oh my God, these women are so unbelievable.
Always need more guys. I don't know what it is. The girls that turn up to our event, stunning, gorgeous, hilarious, intelligent, like...
If they were so all of those things, then why are they alone, dude?
Gotcha, bitch. Just all of them are catches. I think it's because...
That's a lie.
You're a liar! You have to put like 5% effort in, that they just don't do it. But I'm telling you now, if you want to find hot women in London, they are at events. Your brothers, your sons, maybe not your sons.
Yeah, let me get my dad out there. Get my dad out there. He'll smoke some meth rocks before we'll be hyped up. Here's the thing. Singles events are for one type of woman and one type of guy. Guys that are cool with being humiliated and women that are extremely picky. That's all it is. People don't go to singles events and actually get booed up. Men go to get humiliated and women go to just be extremely picky.
Yep. Out of 10.
I don't want to answer that.
You don't want to answer? Are you going to hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
Golly, I can't tell if she's 23 or 39.
No, but I'm all right.
She's got a great chance.
Golly, her forehead's bigger than mine. Good Lord, dressing like that too? Goodness gracious. The attention Olympics. A lot of these OF girls just stuck to the streets, but I mean that's where they're, you know. She's a runner, she's a track star. Why they're in the streets doing these street interviews. 45 to 50% of men nowadays. Let's see.
5 to 50% of men nowadays, like ages 18 to 25, are scared to approach a woman. Mainly them.
I don't think it's necessarily scared. I think it's we don't want the headache.
Reporting that they're worried they're gonna come off as creepy, like women.
Yeah, see, that's not scared. That's, you know, we're more like, why would I go into a situation where I'm gonna be humiliated?
They're gonna find them creepy. Yep. Which is why obviously we have more of like the shift to cuffed or hinge, because I think on both sides people feel like you can maybe get to know a person a little bit better than like maybe having some sort of awkward interaction in person. I think it's good that we have options, right? Like people can do the dating app, or maybe if you're a little bit more confident to approach someone, like you can do that in person. But it is kind of crazy that almost like half the men out there just don't want to do it.
Well, women are extremely picky. That's the big problem. And then also a lot of these guys, they think it's just easy on dating apps for guys. Oh, you just get on a dating app and you're good to go, and you know women are going to swipe on you and you're just going to get all the cooch. You're going to be swimming in tuna before you know it. It's not like that, dude. The top 5% of men get all the matches. I'm so tired of being single.
I'm genuinely so tired of being single. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. Being single is so fun. I've been
being single is not fun.
Single for how long? I get it. But I'm tired. Wrap it up. Get in band. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do this anymore. How many L's do I have to take? How many?
You sure it's not how many D's you have to take?
Shots fired! More. How many more L's do I have to take is what I should say. Like 2 or 3. I could do that. 5, 6. I don't know. Should I give up? I don't know. Let me know.
Ooh, a woman like that, I would avoid her like the COVID-19 plague. I would just. Yeah. I would stay away.
Yeah. Avoid.
I would definitely stay away with that one. Yeah, the yelling, the bird hands, it's a no for me, Chatathy. You know, what do we got?
Women are not left on the marketplace.
No. So why are you single at 37?
Because it's a choice, and I'm a man. I'm not a woman. See, you're trying to conflate female values with male values. Not the same.
I'm just asking a question.
And I'm answering.
Well, no, I will say this. Not that I'm coming to John's defense, but he has a great point here. I recommend. Feel free to trash this argument. I don't care. I think most men should not even consider getting married until they're age 30.
Real shit.
Even consider it. Okay? Most women need to full on consider marriage by the time they're 30.
Oh, they need to be married by the time they're 30. Because the thing is when you're 18 to 24, it's time to sell. It's time to sell. 24 to 30, 50% off. 30 to 40, you're at Goodwill. 40 on, Salvation Army. 50 on, you talking a free sample at the frickin' mall. You need to be trying to give that thing away.
It's a different mark. I tell this story every time. I want you to be married with kids by the time you're 40 as a woman.
Sure.
There's different. All my best friends are 38, 41, 42, 45, millionaires crushing it, bosses. And I'm the guy that's like, guys, 40-something years old. When are we settling down? We're doing this. And they're like, stop getting soft on me, Adam. Keep going. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be that 50-year-old dude in the club. That ain't going to be me.
She probably hated hearing
Well,
it.
and then that's the alternate reality that you have. You can chase success. You can chase your career, which is a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all, especially as a man. You need to have a foundation of being a successful man. But you can get lost in it and marry your career and then not build a family. You still have to build some sort of bond with a woman and a family if you want one. You have to invest in that. Because a good woman will yield very high returns, but the problem is it's just very hard to find a good woman.
That women think that men are just born great and they're just like great as soon as they get in a relationship with them. A lot of these men were either trained by the women they're with or the woman before them. But let me tell you one thing is you do not enable behavior. The moment that a man is disrespecting you by saying, I'm going to stop doing this or I'm not going to do this, and then continues to do so, that's disrespecting you. And you know what you need to do? You need to stand your ground and say, I'm going to go. I don't need this. And that is why I say
This is why you're alone.
tip-top shape. I look good all the time because guess what, babe? You're going to miss out. You either respect me and you listen to what I want in life, or I'm going to go. This is why you need to always take care of yourself, because sometimes men are just like, come on, get some sense in your head, you know? But I don't know who's worse sometimes, the women or the men. I'm like, the women that make excuses for these men, like, oh, men are just men. Men are all the same. No, they're not. And if you found a man that's good from the start, he most likely was with another woman that was not down, was not going to enable his behavior, and said, I'm not putting up with this, we're done, and actually meant it. So then he learned his lesson and then found another woman and decided to give her his all.
He just found the next woman that would actually put up with what he wanted to do. I don't think you have as much sway as you think here, Rebecca.
And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it works out.
You can have all the respect in the world for yourself and just be alone. How about that? That's what you can do. Have all the respect in the world. That's why I stay looking good. She realizes it. The time clock's a ticking. The time clock is a ticking, dude. Is a straight up ticking. And 35-year-old geriatric pregnancy, it just, doesn't get easier, bud. It doesn't get easier, bud. All right, let's go to yesterday's video. The influencer economy has finally crashed. The market is extremely oversaturated with influencers. I completely agree. Anybody who refers to themselves as an influencer is a person to avoid. Buy my course. At least 95% of influencers just aren't that interesting and shouldn't quit their day jobs. MFers driving and recording at the same time should have their license taken away immediately. So annoying seeing it all the time. The simps funding these deluded Muppets have a lot to answer for. You could care less? Well, I couldn't care less. I just did an interview today. It went really well. Wish me luck. Best of luck, brother. I respect how transparent you are with how much you make on YouTube. Very humble and grateful, and genuinely, that's one of the reasons I really like this channel. Thank you, Hiss and Tail. I appreciate that. Thanks for always posting content for us. You're very welcome. I make more than these influencers for 4 hours, 4 days a week. Delivering pizza? Bro, that smile's diabolical. It's not a real job. You get what you get. I'm watching you over 4 years, and you have 10K plus subs. Bro, I love you. Bro, thank you so much. I've only been watching like a month, just found it. Sign up to my Patreon. You're dumber than jokes are on point today. Hey, I'm glad. Yeah, I hate the way Bonnet Head is talking. I got to FF her part. I have a wine rack and a big back. Sounds like a country song that after they've hit the lottery. You guys crack me up, man. Seriously. But, it's a crazy time in society right now. It really is. We live in a world where men can go out there and do everything right, realistically, and still get done diabolically dirty. It's true. It's truly sad. It's truly sad because I believe there's a lot of men that do want to be in a marriage, want to be in a relationship, want to have a family, want to have a wife. And it's so tough, dude. It's so tough when you have to deal with all these delusional Debbies working triple overtime at Lululemon, thinking they all deserve the same guy, 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches, the mark of the beast. These women are bad employers. They can't hire the right employees. They don't realize that they don't control access to relationships. They only control access to sex. And the only reason they have a high body count is because they're letting men buck them. It's a sad world. It's a sad world we live in. I'm very blessed for what I have.
It is.
Because I feel like a lot of guys would love to be married and have kids. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've even seen guys like Osmongold be like, man, I really should have got married and had kids and started a family. It's the most fulfilling thing I've ever had. Waking up in the morning, seeing Cass and baby Nix. It's an amazing feeling. And it gives you this drive that I've never had before. Like this this motivation, this drive to want to be the absolute best version of myself all the time. And set the precedent, set the standard. So this way baby Nix can grow up in a world that's not full of delusion or she's addicted to an iPad, you know what I mean? Because the world's crazy right now, it really is. But man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Actually, wait a minute. Loki, free. Sit, wait, shake. Wait. Free. Go to your place. Good boy. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's always good to have you guys out, man. Until next time. Peace.
And of course, yeah, he added a remix to the outro.
I remember at one point in time, everybody thought Jim Carrey was crazy, but now we're realizing that he was actually onto something, exposing Hollywood, exposing all the crazy things that are going on, like them, you know, doing the Cambodian foreskin facials and things like that Ellen DeGeneres doing. But Jim Carrey is one of the greatest actors of our generation, in my opinion, and he's my biggest inspiration when it comes to my comedic style and the way I approach trying to be funny. Let's get off into this. We'll cover some comments at the very end. If you do enjoy the video, you do enjoy the channel, don't forget to subscribe, dude. It's super simple and something you can do to help support for free.
If there's one actor who clearly beat Hollywood, it's Jim Carrey, and he exposed all the people within it. In his very first film, he propelled himself to fame, soon becoming one of the world's most beloved actors. Whether it's his mastery of physical comedy or his electric presence, there's no question that Jim Carrey's got that special something.
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join.
But despite his long list of hits, Jim Carrey never really fit into the rest of Hollywood. He certainly got his enemies in the industry, from other actors who took offense to his no-holds-barred personality, to producers looking to control his artistic expression. It explains why, despite his massive success as a comedic and dramatic actor, he's been completely snubbed by the big award shows. But even beyond that, it's clear to anyone who's ever seen him interviewed that Jim Carrey is completely beyond the performative dishonesty at the heart of Hollywood, and he makes fun of all the people playing along with it. So let's explore how his unflinching honesty and unwillingness to play along with the lie has exposed Hollywood and its celebrities for what they really are. Like most of the good actors in Hollywood,
they're vampires, they're lizard people.
Jim Carrey came from pretty much nothing. Born in Ontario, Canada, Jim had a modest upbringing living with his parents on the outskirts of Toronto. His family weren't rich by any means, in fact they could barely scrape by. His father, who at his heart was an entertainer, had been forced to give up his craft to support his family. While he never lost his energetic spark, it did leave him stranded for years in a dead-end accounting job. Meanwhile, his mother was often unwell, something which he would often open up about in interviews later on in his life. My mum was addicted to pain medication. She was very sick in a lot of ways. She was lovely too, but she was a child of alcoholics and she had issues. And that's not intentional abandonment. She was always there for me. She was always there in the...
Chat, do you guys have alcoholics that run in your family? See, I don't have any alcoholics that run in my family. Most of the runners in my family run, not the alcoholics.
Father, and to try and make his mother feel just a little bit better, he would spend hours practicing his comedy, nailing his facial expressions and his impressions of other people. By the age of 10, he had over 100...
They do say that people that are raised in toxic environments, especially children, do tend to have a better sense of humor because it's a coping mechanism for children. And that was exactly my case as well.
100 of them stored up in the bank, all of which had been painstakingly crafted to be as accurate as possible. He would spend his teenage years perfecting them even further, but life got in the way all too often. By the time he was 16, Jim Carrey's father had lost his job, and it pushed his family off the brink of poverty. Eventually, they were forced to leave town, surviving by living in a small camper van on a relative's lawn.
I mean, because people know you live in a car. We would go around to, one time for a while we pitched a tent on my sister's lawn in the country. And then for a while we went to campsites around, Ontario. Right. We had more fun there than we did when we were doing this job that we didn't like.
The janitor job.
Yeah, the janitor job.
Jim left school.
You know what's so funny? Y'all remember that Chris Farley skit on SNL? I live in a van down by the river. Isn't it funny that living in a van down by the river now is kind of a flex? Like, well, you have a camper van, dude? That's super sweet, man. You guys got a Winnebago. You guys can pitch a tent. You got to go anywhere you want to go. There's a completely different connotation now to living in a van down by the river than there used to be. And there's also a completely different connotation on the fact that you guys can go download free cash and get $10. On me, it's super simple. Scan the QR code, click on the link in the description. I got guys in the Discord that have made $600+ I got another guy that's made over $2,000. You can get paid out when you hit $20. I'm getting you halfway there, so it's super simple. Click the link in the description, scan the QR code. Don't ever say Loki's never done anything for you guys. All right, let's get back off into this.
Shortly afterwards, having to work a crummy menial job just to make sure his family had enough to eat. But even at this low point in his early life, he still found the time to work on making people laugh. It was in his late teens that he began performing at stand-up comedy nights, something he was almost immediately successful at. At first, Jim was understandably focused on his impressions. They did the job of making people laugh after all, and he was already one of the best in the business. Even at this point, Jim Carrey's career was proof that if you really want something, you have to work harder than everyone else. But as his career started to open up, and he started gaining traction, Jim threw nearly all of it out and started creating his own irreverent, unpredictable material. Often it didn't work quite as well. Audiences that would have enjoyed all of his earlier work were suddenly on a knife's edge. You never knew whether his next joke would bring everyone to tears or completely flop. He had a talent for putting everything on the line, using his expressions in such a way that you could tell he wasn't holding back anything. This courageous vulnerability was going to be the key to his success, as we could see in later years. From his father's experiences, he knew that
And also, the thing is with Jim Carrey, and I think the reason impressions work so well is because it's like covering the song of somebody who's already popular. So when you're doing this, you're already relating it to a celebrity. So if you can get really good at impressions, this is a great way to do it in comedy. I'd love to do stand-up. Chat, do you think I should do stand-up? You guys think? I can't even speak right now. You think I should do some stand-up?
Nation settling for something doesn't always mean safety.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
He had given up on this dream of being an entertainer in exchange for the well-being.
Heard that one in college, lived by it ever since, dude.
Of his family, but eventually he lost that job anyway when the higher-ups decided that they didn't need him anymore. Jim wanted his father's sacrifice to mean something, and for that to happen, he needed to take everything that he possibly could from the world. It was this ambition that eventually brought him to Hollywood, where his mastery of physical comedy and his presence on stage could really get put to work. His first forays into TV and films were still closely tied to comedy. His first hit show in Living Color was still a sketch.
God, this movie's so funny, dude.
Comedy show, but it let Jim Carrey shine. It was also around this time that he began working on writing his first comedy film, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Just like his stand-up sets, it was going to be anything but the usual slop. Instead of going along with the tropes of the time and playing into Hollywood's standard procedure, he was going to attack it. Quote, "My plan was not to join Hollywood, it was to destroy it. Take a gigantic sledgehammer to the leading man into all the seriousness." And it makes it all the more impressive that this could have been Jim Carrey's only shot at making it big in cinema. If it flopped, his other projects might have been cancelled, and it would have gone down in history as just another forgettable 90s comedy movie. At first, it even seemed like this was the film's destiny. At test screenings, most critics hated the film. Under half gave it a positive review.
For real, dude, that movie's so good, dude. Ace Ventura is such a good movie. How are you gonna rate it bad?
Ebert called it a long and funny slog. The New York Times said that only a child would have enjoyed Jim Carrey's performance.
Well, I was a child when that did come out, and I did enjoy it.
Couldn't have been more wrong. Released in early 1994, the film pulled in nearly 10 times its budget at the domestic and international box offices, all whilst making Jim Carrey a household name overnight. In the end, it was just another example of how far off base critics can really be. They're a part of the Hollywood establishment, so just like the rest of their colleagues in the industry, they have no real idea about Jim Carrey's appeal. But to their credit, the film executives knew they'd found a winner. Hollywood might have not been able to understand his appeal, but they definitely understood the money he could make them. Jim Carrey had been set to appear in 2 other films in the same year, The Mask and Dumber and Dumber.
Dude, that was a generational run. The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, dude.
Yeah.
Golly, that was a... Man, that was a generational run for him. And then he does Man on the Moon.
By the time he was working on the movie. And the results show how effective this turned out to be. It's something that's only possible when you throw yourself completely into a role, without caring about how the rest of the business is going to see you. Of course, there should be limits. When Jared Leto was set to be the latest actor to play the Joker in the 2016 Suicide Squad,
God, Jared Leto is trash now, dude.
Too far. His co-stars have since told interviewers that he sent them things like dead animals in the mail.
I got so many weird things. I can't even begin to tell you the weird things I got.
Yeah, he sent used condoms and sticky Playboy magazines and the dead pig.
It clearly didn't help his performance. The poor writing and directing had already stunted the film anyway. But Jim Carrey never went that far. From the information that's out there, it seems like he never did anything to actually inconvenience or mess with his fellow colleagues on the set of Man on the Moon. The director of the movie had nothing but good words for his performance, but it didn't stop other A-listers from taking offense to his dedication to the craft. Martin Freeman from The Office, Black Panther and The Hobbit starred alongside Carrey in the film.
And I'm genuinely sure Jim Carrey is a lovely and smart person, but
but it was the most self-aggrandizing, selfish, narcissistic bollocks I've ever seen. And the idea that anything in our culture would celebrate that or support it is deranged. I mean, it's literally deranged.
He then went on to say,
get the job done, man. Do your work, you know.
He should have got fired.
He should totally have got fired. Can you imagine if he had been anybody else under the line? I mean, he would have been sectioned, never, let alone fired. He would have been got rid of. It's the ridiculous leeway that is given to some people.
Freeman never went into specifics, of course, but it's clear that Jim Carrey had rubbed him off the wrong way. It wasn't the first time something like this has happened. Tommy Lee Jones had similar things to say about Jim Carrey, but this time it wasn't to do with his acting style. After playing well alongside him in Batman Forever, according to Jim Carrey, he actually hated his guts. It's a story he actually told the late Norm Macdonald in this interview.
I was at a restaurant and you know, the maitre d' said, "Oh, Tommy, I hear you're working with Tommy Lee Jones. He's over in the corner having dinner." And I went over and said, "Hey, Tommy, how you doing?" Like that, and the blood just drained from his face, like he had been thinking about me 24 hours.
You'd already done the movie.
And he started shaking, and he got up and he went like this, and he went like to hug me, and he said, "I hate you. I really don't like you." Like that.
You couldn't have guessed this was going on behind the scenes, especially considering that Tommy Lee Jones was easily matching Jim Carrey in every scene they shared in the film. But these are just two of the actors that have disagreements with Jim Carrey. You can imagine there's many more, and it's likely because it's got to...
Was that Batman Forever, dude?
Yeah.
Man, with him and the Riddler, that was such a good one.
A lot to do with how good he is at taking the spotlight in anything he does. It's really hard to outdo him in any scene, so it makes sense that A-listers would get angry over not being the center of attention anymore, especially when they have always been the center of attention their entire life. These incidences and others like them could have played a role in Jim Carrey distancing himself from Hollywood later on in his career. Fast forward to today, and he's been on his own spiritual journey, far removed from that world of fast cars and false smiles, and this has allowed him to easily point out the hypocrisy and toxic atmosphere in Hollywood.
Yeah, so like in a world full of A-listers, be a Jim Carrey, dude. This is what I strive to be, making paintings, having a bunch of money, just chilling, dude.
A great example is when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Unlike most people at the time, his anger wasn't solely directed at Will Smith. Obviously he was clearly to blame, but that wasn't really the root of the issue. Instead, his anger was aimed at the sentiment and the atmosphere in Hollywood that made him think he could actually get away with this. In an interview shortly after the incident, he called Hollywood spineless, and said that it was sickening that Will Smith had gotten a standing ovation afterwards. He was also quick to point out that if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. It wasn't the first time Jim Carrey was outspoken about Hollywood. In 2014, he had an appearance on the Jimmy Kimmel Show that left a lot of the audience scratching their heads.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it. Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you so you don't know what's really going on. They're trying to turn us into, consumer drones of some sort.
It's a bizarre segment to say the least, and it's really hard to tell which parts are even a joke. And it doesn't seem like Kimmel has any idea either. When Jim comes into the studio and starts doing the hand signal, he looks around to the side as if he's looking for confirmation from the producers. But as silly as it starts, or maybe like some comments suggest it was highlighting something else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. He's for real though, my dildo. Like Jim Carrey's not. There's no cap in his rap at all. That's all factual.
A lot of Jim Carrey's points seem to come from his actual beliefs, and it matches up with things he said in serious interviews later on in his career. Then later on in the interview, when he pretends he's being controlled by his iPhone, still an exaggeration of what's really happening in the world.
Yeah, listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some...
What happened?
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was temporarily interrupted by my iPhone 6 Plus. I think what I was really trying to say was I think people will enjoy Dumb and Dumber this weekend.
And that is what I thought you were about.
They should all go to the theater tomorrow and see it. Because we could use a good laugh. Ha 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 ha.
He even ties his own role in the conspiracy he's playing into, turning the final punchline into an ad for the film he was starring in. The whole thing is really blurry, and you can't really tell which parts he's even joking about, if any. Jim Carrey probably knew that he couldn't say this stuff and have it aired if it wasn't partly a joke. Some people have speculated that the audience laughs were added in afterwards to make it seem more like a joke, but at certain points in the interview he pauses to let the laughs or applause die down, or repeats things that couldn't be heard over the noise. It makes it unlikely that all of this laughter was added in with the editing. If it was a joke though, Kimmel was the perfect stooge to make it work. His emptiness and his fake laughter is exactly the kind of thing that Jim Carrey would have wanted to avoid by checking out from Hollywood.
Jimmy Fallon, bruh. Jimmy Fallon.
the time, and it's clear that it shook him to his core. What made it worse were the lawsuits that came after her passing. Members of her family, looking to blame someone for their loss, filed wrongful death suits against Jim Carrey, alleging that his connections and public profile contributed to her tragic end. No wrongdoing was ever found, and both the suits were dropped afterwards, but only after 2 years of waiting. There's no question that it's a shadow that hung over Jim Carrey, as it would to anyone who went through a thing like this. Since then, it's been clear that Jim Carrey found comfort outside of his Hollywood persona. It was the shock that almost led him to giving up on acting entirely.
Well, I'm retiring, but
No.
yeah, probably.
Are you being serious or are you screwing with me?
I'm being fairly serious. Yeah.
Really? Why?
It depends. It depends if if the Angels bring some sort of a script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see. I might continue down the road, but I'm taking a break.
While he still appears in the odd film here and there, most of his passion lies in his own artwork and his political cartoons today. It did clearly change his outlook on Hollywood, as we saw in a red carpet interview around a year after his girlfriend's passing. Appearing at the New York Fashion Week, he called the whole thing completely meaningless and said that we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
It's a funny interview watching the reporter getting taken out of her element and into reality while Jim Carrey says whatever he feels like saying. She has no idea how to respond to this. One of his last lines in the interview is possibly the most meaningful. After Jim lays down the spiritual smackdown, the interviewer questions him on if what celebrities say really matters at all, and his response is short and sweet.
Okay. So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's
uplifting.
the thing. It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good.
Okay.
He knows like the rest of
Well, the rules are made up and the points don't matter. You know, everybody thought he was. Everybody thought Jim Carrey was nuts when he came out with all this stuff. Everybody thought he was nuts, and I even thought that I was like, oh, I don't know, Jim. But as time has went on, I think we've started to realize that a lot of this, it is wild with all the Ellen DeGeneres stuff that's come out, with all the Jeffrey Epstein stuff that's come out. Like there's some serious foul play. There's some serious foul play that's going on. And I think it wasn't it the CIA who came up with the term conspiracy theory? I believe it was the CIA. Karl Popper helped shape the modern analytical critique of the concept by using the phrase the conspiracy theory of society. The CIA dispatch myth, a popular internet claim, suggests the CIA invented the term in 1967 via dispatch to discredit critics from the Warren Commission, while the agency didn't circulate guidance on how to address the skepticism regarding the JFK assassination. Which, that was sussy. Very sussy. Very, very sussy. Let's cover some comments on a previous video, though. See what we got. Let's go to the Elliot Page video. Elliot Page.
Because Elliot.
All right, here we go. And remember when Hollywood had Screen Actors Guild instead of a Screen Activist Guild? Pepperidge Farm remembers? Oh my God. Mel, he'd make it right. That's what I'm saying. Mel Gibson would make The Odyssey really good. Page always looks like on the verge of tears. It's annoying, to be honest. Just thought of something. Maybe so-called movies like this will urge people to stay home and read instead. Worked for me. I'm telling you, right? Instead of picking up your phone, go get a Bible. That's what I've been doing recently. Elliot Fatigue get paid so much for that movie and will never shut up. These are all made actors and directors. Zendaya Fatigue is a real thing, dude. You need to put that South Park quote. You're being ignorant. You're being ignorant. Hollywood is over. Loki looking at Elliot like, what the is that? Yes, Mel Gibson would make The Odyssey insanely brutal. I'd return to the theaters to watch that one. I remember when Mel Gibson came out with The Passion of the Christ, my mom took me when I was like 12, and I was like, this is a savage movie, dude. Zendaya signed a deal with the devil. Remember when she first appeared 8 years ago in a Bruno's Mars video, Versace on the floor? He introduced her to the world, and then she was planted everywhere since then. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't even have a lot of talent. She's not even a great actress, and she's in all these movies. Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye. Show me a guy who talks on a show wearing an open button down with a tank top. Show me. Wait a minute. That's me. Kirk Douglas in Ulysses looks like a documentary when compared to Nolan's Odyssey. Ulysses has been one of my favorite films in the sword and sandal movie genre. What about the original Gladiator? I watched Gladiator 2 as Mitterton. I'm sorry, but every time I hear the name Elliot, I can't help but think of E.T. Oh my God. She's completely delusional. Helen of Detroit. If gender is a spectrum, why do they call it transphobic? What I've never understood is Your biology doesn't define you, but changing your biology does, or changing your body does. Like your genitalia doesn't define your gender, but removing it does. It does. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. Men's life is much harder than women's life. Even average women could find an average man with money. Average men with money are invisible in society. This is very true. My truth equals delusion beliefs because it goes against historical, societal norms and verifiable scientific facts. In other words, verifiable truths. Just remember that actor played Juno. That's what I'm saying. I only remember her in Juno. Everything else since then, I was like, I don't even know who this is. All-time movie quote, some MFers are always trying to ice skate uphill. Come Disney, I'm still waiting for the race swap version of Tarzan. Oh my God. Zendaya has the same half-stone stupid look on her face in everything she's ever done. This Elliot Page stuff is nauseating. I'm tired of seeing it. Elliot found out the hard way life is terrible as a man, and Elliot still has no accountability yet. She's a man. She hates men, can't stand men so much she decided, you know what, I'm going to be one. Make that make sense, chat. Hated men so much, had to go be one. And that's something that I'll never understand, is how your genitalia doesn't define who you are, but removing it does. Oh, okay. Now that you removed your penis, you know. Or now that you cut off your boobs, now you know. It makes no sense to me. But this is the world we live in. I think this is the problem when people have too much money and are disconnected from the world. Like, I think everybody that starts to make a lot of money, you should have to go to the grocery store just to see how much a gallon of milk is. Because when you don't get the reality of what it actually is to be a normal person. You don't know. You sit inside your cube, you hang out with other people that just want to gas you up and put flames on and put gasoline on your delusions, to the fact that you think you're right because all the idiots around you are screaming, yeah, you're right, yeah. That's not the case. You need to be humbled. You need a reality check. Everybody freaking needs one. This is why once a week I try to go hang out with a guy that's a friend of mine, and I get a reality check, and I learn about something that I don't know about, and I try to own up to some bit of humility. Because I know I'm not perfect. I know I've got a lot to learn. But if I don't put myself in circles where I can go learn, I'm never going to. Like, I'm going to go kick it with a guy today who's a very young electrician. He's very successful. He owns multiple trucks and owns his own business. He's doing way better than me, and he's like 23. I go talk to him to learn about business because clearly he knows a lot about business. And he comes to me to learn about social media because he knows how powerful it is, and I've shown him. We're both entrepreneurs in our own right, but he does something completely different than me. He's got a fleet of trucks. He's got a fleet of guys. He's got a whole business side of things. He's got, a lady answering the phones. He's running Google ads. I'm not doing none of that. I make videos. It's a whole lot different, right? I have people that make clips for me. It's a whole lot different. But I can go and learn from him, and I can see what he's doing in his business, and he can see what I'm doing in my business, and this is something I can go do and own up to a piece of humility and say, there are things I do not know. This is why I'm going to go to Vid Summit in the end of October and the beginning of, or the end of September and the beginning of October in Dallas. So if you guys are around Dallas, you're in Texas, or you want a reason to go to Dallas, I'm going to be at Vid Summit. It will be a creators kind of only thing. So I would say if you go, you need to have some creator, and it's expensive. It's like $850 or $950 a ticket. But I'll be there for a few days. I'll be in Dallas. So if you guys are in the area around September 29th to like October 1st, shoot me a DM on Instagram or something like that. And then also, if you guys want, there's two other things I've added that I want to share with you guys. If you want to call me, you can, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or if you want to chat with me, this is an AI digital twin chat bot I've created. You can chat with me 24/7. Text, call. I've got one of my ebooks in there that'll like talk you through. It's basically a course for the ebook. You can ask me questions. Basically, it's watched every single one of my YouTube videos, and it's an encyclopedia, I guess you want to say, or a dictionary of who I am. So I've created a digital twin of who I am that's available on demand 24/7. So many of you guys have wanted to talk to me, but I don't have the time. So now I have the time 24/7. You can hit me up whenever and you can chat with me. So that's something I created for you guys, just in case you wanted it. Loki, Bree, sit, wait, shake, wait. Bree, good boy. Go to your place. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's always good to have you guys out, man. Until next time. Peace.
I'm calling tonight. I'm definitely going to bed.